Guys, this business here, where you could build a business, multi-millions of dollars per year in 10 years, follow this, do all this, right? You could generate 25 million, 50 million, 100 million. If you're good at it, you know what you're doing, right? You're sending good emails. I'm going to show you something with here. I'm going to model this out where I'm going to look at it as a lead gen business with no product. Okay. I'm going to go and generate leads, and then I'm going to go and monetize these leads by sending third-party offers to these people to get them to sign up for other people's products. Okay. The simplest thing. I'm going to do that in a way where this is going to be more of a larger volume play where you're going to go out and do this, generate leads, and then try to monetize that data, right? The other way that you can do this to fast track this is you can do something what's called like a email list management partnership, where there are companies out in the world today that are generating leads, but they don't know how to send any email. They don't know how to do any of this stuff because it's a lot of work, it's complicated, and they don't focus on that, right? They focus on what they're good at. So there are companies that are good at email, and they don't want to deal with going in and setting up offers and going and driving traffic to the offers and going and doing deals with the back end buyers. And it's a lot of work, right? What if you're a one-man shop, which a lot of people are? A good way to start businesses, if you're good in the email space, if you understand email, you don't need any employees or anything of that nature. You don't have to do a huge investment. You go out, you go do some list management deals with companies where you're going to do a deal, let's say a 50-50 revenue share, where you're going to manage their email data. Obviously, the person's opting in and giving permission to do so. And then you're going to work to monetize that data to generate revenue, and then you split that revenue with your partners, right? That's a very quick way to get to 50 million a month. You go and you do deals with 10 partners, and if each partner is generating 5 million messages a month, well then, there you go. 5 million times 10 partners, you're getting 50 million people in your database monthly, right? Now, these are sends. So you don't even need that much to get to the 50 million sends, right? Because you're not going to just mail to the person once, right? Let's say that you send one email per day, right? That's 30 days. Maybe you don't send it on the weekends. Maybe you send Monday through Friday. So for easy numbers, let's say there's 4 weeks, 5 days in a week. So you're sending 20 emails a month, right? So 20 emails a month. Let's say that you want to get to 25 million. Right? Well, if you do that, you just have to divide 20 by 25 million, right? And that's how many you have to send, right? So 1.25 million emails per send if you're sending 20, right? It's a lot. So let's say that you are now mailing 2 times a day and you're doing it 20 days, right? So now you're sending to 40, right? All of a sudden now you have to send to 600,000, 6 point something thousand, right? And you keep going, right? And the whole idea in this business is as people open and click, you create different files, different engagement files, so that now you can kind of niche down. Somebody clicks on a job offer, right? So that's a clicker in the job space. So now you're going to create a clicker file for the job guys, and then you can, look for relevant offers around people that are looking for jobs. And what you mean by that is just like, who is that person? What do they want? What are they doing, right? But an easy way to kind of just think about it is relevant data, relevant offers, right? That kind of boils down to who is that person? What do they want? So that's an easy way to do it on a large scale. But so I'm going to model this out on just a list management agreement, right? So I'm going to say that on a guesstimate, we're going to see 0.6% click rate. All right. So I'm talking to my guys in house, and now they're asking what my budget is, and we've just modeled it out on this. And now we're saying that for all the emails that we're sending, if we send 1 million emails, we're going to get a 0.6% click rate. Okay. And that's conservative, right? If you have good data, you should see a much higher click rate than that. And I'm not talking about, just to be clear, okay, because a lot of these mail houses will report to you differently, right? I kind of like take out the open rate and all that jazz, and it's just, to me, it's a lot of noise. So this is an easier way for me to model a business, right? I don't want to go through all those details. I don't want to go through how many emails I'm sending in a day. I don't want to go through how many times in a month we're mailing, all that stuff. It's too much noise. Yes, it's a strategy, right? You got to deal with that, but that's not what we're getting into right now. We're just modeling this business. So what I'm doing is I'm taking everything out of the equation and just saying, all right, for the 1 million, not on how many delivered, not on how many opened, not on how many then clicked, right? Because what people will do is they'll say, okay, on 1 million, right? Let's say 500,000 opened an email. And then of those 500,000, 250,000 ended up clicking. I'm just doing those numbers really simple. The way that mail houses might report that to you is saying, okay, they do it off the 500,000 that opened, and then they divide it by the 250,000 that clicked. So they would say you got a 50% click rate, right? I don't do that, right? I do it where I look at it as, okay, 1 million at the 250,000. So I would really have a 25% click rate, right? I'm taking out the open stuff because to me that just confuses things. So I'm looking at it with 6%, and that is all based on the volume, right? So it's all the same. I'm keeping this very similar, super simple. So I'm 0.6% times the sends. So sends times click rate gets me the clicks, total clicks. So here I would get 6,000 clicks. Here I'm getting 30,000 clicks. Here I'm getting 60,000 clicks because it's 10 million. At 25 million sends, we are going to get 150,000 clicks. And on 50 million sends, we're going to get 300,000 clicks. Okay. So for people that are just following along here and not really sure what I mean by that, on a click, it means a person opens an email, they see the creative, whatever you put in there, they were interested, and they click. Boom. And what happens after they click, you guys all know how email works, they go somewhere. You're redirecting them somewhere. Okay? You're sending them somewhere. When you have an email list, it's really powerful because you control traffic. That's why data is so important to get, right? You can go and load up emails and press send and get people to go somewhere. So people that are looking for traffic, right, they can go buy traffic on Facebook. They can go buy traffic on YouTube, right? This is where it gets really fun, where you can start businesses without getting any money from anybody because you can go get a deal. And this is how you do it on a performance basis. Let's say that I have all these records, these emails in my database where I have permission to send to them, right? And you're the guy that is doing the debt consolidation offer. You're the one that has a debt consolidation deal. You can come to me and say, hey, Eric, do me a favor. I got this great debt consolidation deal and it's working well. I want you to mail it. And I'm willing to pay you $20 for every lead you generate for me, right? Okay. Well, I either know the business and I know if that's a good payout or not. But even so, you got to look at the form and see all right, what's the conversion rate? What's the expected conversion rate? Have you done this with anybody else? If you have, what is the EPC, the expected earnings per click, right? EPC, earnings per click, right? Which is what we're going to get into right now. I need to know that, right? Because I need to know what this deal looks like. Some people want to get paid on a CPM when they mail, which means, right, $2.50. Well, someone might want to get paid on a CPM. So if they're paying $2.50 and they want to guarantee themselves a profit, they'll say, okay, to mail to my 1 million names, you gotta pay $5 a thousand. So you're gonna mail 1 million names for the person, right? That in this case, as you as the debt consolidation guy, or me as the guy who's arbitraging media, I got to take risks. I got to spend $5,000 because the cost to mail is $2.50, right? So, and we can get into all those kind of fun, cool things, but this is really important because this is what we're doing in our business, right? And if you guys can understand this, I'm telling you, worlds. This is what I'm explaining to you guys is 15, 20 years of doing this. I mean, and this is you not putting any time into it, and you can watch this video for 30 minutes and get information that's so valuable that you can build businesses that are worth multi-millions of dollars, right? They were list management companies that I know that have sold for $60 million, $100 million. They never owned any offers. All they did was get, really good at sending emails, partnering with people that had data, and then helping them monetize that data. And it's powerful. Killer, right? And there's a lot of nuances with the business, depending on what you're mailing. The more you get involved with like sending like affiliate offers, it just gets harder to get inbox. And what I mean by that is the ISPs, the internet service providers, Yahoo, Gmail, Hotmail, right? All these guys, AOL, the cables, there's all kinds of people. Each one of them is a separate business, and they all have their reasons on why they let you in or not into the inbox or not, right? They're all different. It's a whole thing, right? But so in any event, let's model this out. We're going to make 50 cents a click. Okay. So at 50 cents a click, now we have some numbers to work off. Now, are those numbers real? Well, you gotta do some research in your industry to figure that out. And yeah, these numbers are real. For a list management business, I think a 0.6% click rate and 50 cents EPC, those are fair numbers. Like if the guy in my company comes to me and tells me that he wants to model this out at 0.6% click rate and 50 cent EPC, I can buy into this. Okay. I mean, there's a lot of other things that go into it, the strategy, like I said, and all that other stuff. But if you're asking me to invest in this, if I'm giving them money to spend to build this, I'm willing to do that under those circumstances, right? These are variables. This is not guaranteed. Spending $2.50 $1,000, if that's what the company's charging, that's guaranteed. That's happening no matter what. If I send to 1 million people, that is guaranteed. That is happening. So these numbers are real, right? These numbers here, they're just projections. We're just projecting on what we think is going to happen. That's all you can do, right? You can try to gather as much information as you can get. If you're experienced in the space and you've done it before, then you probably have a good idea. If you don't, maybe you call people up, you ask them, you keep asking, you do research, trying to get like some number. You don't need the exact number. You just kind of want to land on something that starts the process for you to make a decision, right? So based off of this, we have enough information here, right? Because I'm just kind of guesstimating on what the gross revenue would look like here. Gross revenue is the total revenue you would generate. And in this scenario, the way you do it is you take your 6,000 clicks and you multiply times 50, okay? And just for the record, you could be mailing on the CPM, you could be mailing on a cost per lead, you could be mailing on a cost per click, all kinds of different models. Doesn't really matter. What we're doing is we're cutting out all that noise, right? The decisions on what you're going to mail and how you're going to mail, it's part of the business, yes. But we're modeling something here where you got to cut that out. Your goal here is just, doesn't really matter how you do it, you just got to get to this number, right? So we think, right? So 6,000 times 50 cents, and that equals 3K. 30,000 times 50 cents, 15,000. 60,000 times 50 cents is 30,000. 150,000 times 50 cents is 75,000. And 300,000 times 50 cents is 150,000. Okay? So now we have some numbers that we could work off of. Okay? And we can look at this and try to make some decisions. So before I do that, what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to look at this business and try to get an idea of what the margins are going to look like, okay, under this circumstance. So the way to do that is you take your gross revenue and you subtract it by your spend. Gross revenue, spend, and you get your net margin, right? Net revenue, whatever, right? And what that means is it's what are you walking away with after all of your costs that go into your pocket. Now, keep this in mind, right? This is just for the mailing part. Someone's got to be doing it, right? Either you're doing it yourself and it's all you, and you're hustling and you're doing 25 things and wearing 25 hats, right? From setting up the email, sending the email, going and getting the offers, going and getting the assets to mail with the from line, the subject line, the unsubscribes, the creatives, right? Then you're getting the reporting and the tracking and all that good jazz, right? And then you got to go and find lists, and you got to get people to give you the list, and you got to do the contract. It's a lot of work, right? But listen, you got to do what you got to do. You got to hustle when you're building a business, right? I did that when I started. I did this when I started. You know, got to hustle, man. You work your butt off. As you start to generate some revenue and start making some money, you then can afford to hire other people, right? Or you find a way to do it with help, where you can find cheap help, or you do some sort of, partnership, some strategic partnership where maybe you do a deal where someone helps you out and then you give them a percentage of the revenue. You don't give them equity in your business, right? You do like some sort of revenue share. You want to own your business. Don't give up equity. You never give up equity unless it's a real deal. And it's got to be strategic, and you got to be ready, because the minute you give up equity, it's like a marriage. You're with them forever as long as you're with that company. So you better like those people. Okay. That's why some of these partnerships end so bad, because they do it, don't think about that, and then they realize like they can't stand each other, and then they have different ways of how they think about the business, or someone gets greedy because one person's doing more work than the other, and it just falls apart, right? So it's always good when you're ever giving up equity in a business that your interests are aligned, you like the person. I can't stress enough deals that I've done where like I didn't look at that part of it. I kind of looked at the business, got excited, but didn't think about, do I like this person? Do I like spending time with that person? Do I like do we align with the same interests, right? And goals, and where we see the business going and what we want, right? How we spend money, right? The allowances that we take. Some guys might be going out and spending money entertaining, and I'm not spending anything because it doesn't make sense, right? I don't entertain unless like I'm going in to get some value out of it that's going to help the business. Just making that up, but like I'm just saying, like you got to be careful with that, right? But so in any event, now we're figuring out what this business looks like. So we take this and we look, right? In the first model, we are net $500. Next model, right? We're spending 10 to make 15, so we're net 5K. In this model here, we're spending 15,000, we're making 30, 15K. In this model, we're spending 25,000, we're making 75, so we're netting $50,000. In this model, we're spending 37.5, and we're making 150K, which is 112,500. In every case, we're profitable. We're making money. We're in the plus, right? Which is good. As you can see, the more volume you send, the more money you're generating. But the thing is that in the email space, what's great is that the cost of sending isn't that much money, right? It's really not. I mean, believe it or not, this is what's crazy about it. A 0.6% click rate, which is real, right? We're modeling this out at 0.6%. I just want you to understand what that means, okay? That means that 99.4% of the people that you're sending emails to don't click, right? 99.4% of the emails don't click. And, we're looking at it as send, so there could be the same person in here that is clicking multiple times, right? That's why you want to take your clicker files, your opener files. Those are the people that are engaging with your messages, and you want to separate them out from the list that you're mailing to, right? If you're sending emails and you send somebody an email for 7 days straight and they haven't opened it or clicked it, you probably should stop mailing to that person, right? So maybe you take that message, that record, and you put them into a list of non-responders, right? Doesn't mean you have to never mail to them again, but maybe what you do is you try to get them to open or click, and you send them one email every week, or one email every 15 days, or one email every 30 days, depending on how old the data is, right? The lead born date is the date that they actually sign up to receive messages. The most money you're going to make is from the minute they sign up for the next 7 days. You're going to find out if they're an open or clicker. If they don't open and click within the 7 days, most of the time, that's somebody you're not going to want to mail to. Maybe they went out of the country and they were looking at their email address or whatever. In that case, very rare, right? that maybe they will. So you give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe you didn't send something that made sense to them, so they didn't open or click. So you got to figure out how to get them to respond and give you information, or you figure out how to more qualify that record. And there's ways to do it by doing like overlays and things of that nature, but we're not going to get into that right now. But the point is that this business, an email business, is really, really profitable. The biggest thing, the hardest thing in the email business, if you can get inbox, you're most likely going to be profitable, right? Because people are going to respond. It's just, over the years, right? Spammers, people that are spamming people, it's happened, right? It's still, people try to do it all the time. And back in the day, when email first came out, it was like the Wild Wild West. After you were getting inbox like crazy, right? There was no filters. You weren't stopping anybody from getting. So a lot of these companies took advantage of that, right? You get in early and you get to take advantage of that. And over the years, and I'd say probably when I got into this business and probably 10 years earlier than that, so like 30 years ago and 20 years ago, there was companies just demolishing it, like knocking the cover off, making millions upon millions of dollars. And they were in early, right? And now, like, as time has gone by, email is still a powerful, powerful tool. It's just the internet service providers have done a good job of filtering out the nonsense. So by doing so, now we've gotten rid of all those pikers, right? Those people that just don't care. Those people that don't really want to worry about what you want to receive. They just want to send and make money, and they don't care how they do it. And they're just going to keep sending and sending and sending and sending and sending. There's no real strategy. There's no real thought around, like, what does that person want, right? But for the people that do it, right? The people that understand their audience, the people that understand what they want to receive, and you can now add value to the person's life and get them something that they need, right? It's like when you think about businesses, like there are these companies that like spam the hell out of people, and there's just bad business, right? It sucks. But you guys know companies like Groupon, right? Living Social, remember those companies, right? Groupon, right? They came up with that model where people sign up to get emails. And what they did was they would do deals with these companies where they would get like better deals than what are in the market. And they would do it by saying, all right, well, let's say that you're selling a pack of socks for $10, right? Well, what if I can get you 1,000 people to buy those packs of socks? Would you sell them to me for $5? Yeah. The company's like, hell yeah. If you can get me 1,000, I'll sell them for $5, especially if it costs them $250, right? Well, obviously, like, that's the whole dynamic of the company that's there, right? But you get the point. And what Groupon did was they just got a lot of people together. They sourced a lot of people together to go and buy that. And then if they hit those 1,000, the deal was good. In days where they got, 200 people to buy the socks, and they needed 1,000, the deal wouldn't last. It wouldn't be good. And even though you bought it, it didn't happen because you didn't give enough, right? But that's what's really cool about it, right? But the thing is, Groupon would get people to sign up for their brand of Groupon. So now they have emails, they have people in their database with their brand where emails were coming from Groupon. And it was very clear to the person, to the consumer, right? I'm signing up for Groupon for them to send me offers, send me deals. And I'm interested. They were good deals. I'm interested. I want it. Well, Groupon was sending like millions upon millions of emails, right? Like, if you look at it, like, the spammers that were sending those kind of messages, they would never get into the inbox. Groupon, they built an awesome business with people that wanted to receive their emails. So they got inbox. But they were sending hundreds of millions of emails, right? Because the business was viable. People were opting in and they knew what they were getting into. They wanted the emails and they were able to do that. So they built an awesome business through email. And it was massive, right? So guys, like, that's the kind of concept. But I wanted to go through this with you because I want you guys to understand this, right? On how to figure things out, on how to build businesses, if you should be doing things or not. So in this scenario, when they asked me that, in this world, if we're doing it on a click rate of 0.6%, if we think we can do 50 cents per click, hey man, I'm willing to give him an allowable where I'm profitable no matter what. Right? If he wants to spend $2,500, 10 grand, 15, 25, 37,500, right? Because what we're saying here is, if I spend $2,500 on the million, then we're expecting to make $3,000. That's what we're expecting, right? If I say, okay, hey man, you got a $25,000 budget, so he can now commit to 25 million messages to send. Now he goes and gets to work, right? And we put some sort of timeline around that. Again, on the 25K, we're looking to generate 150,000 clicks on the 0.6% click rate, right? At 50 cents. So we're going to make 75 grand. So we would make $50,000. If we were able to do that on a monthly basis, maybe not the first month, but let's say in 3 months, he's going to be able to send 25 million. We're going to spend $1 a thousand, and we're going to spend 25K. We're going to get a 0.6% click rate. We're going to get 150,000 clicks. We are then going to make 50 cents per click, generate $75,000, and be profitable at 50K, right? Now, obviously, now there's going to be cost of the people and rent and lawyers and an accountant, whatever. That's, the operations, right? Well, $50,000 per month times 12, and that's a $600,000 business net profit. Then you have your cost. Let's say you have, your overhead, and let's call it 200 grand. That means you're going to make $400,000 a year. So guys, that is what it's all about. This is how we're doing it. This is how we're modeling out our businesses. And yeah, it's fun. So, I know there's a lot here. I know that we went through some data here with the numbers. So just listen to this podcast multiple times. If you're watching on their video, if you're on my YouTube channel, watch it, stop it, take notes, press play, do it again, take notes, keep going, right? Or watch it and then rewatch it, watch it and rewatch it. Guys, this business here, I just laid out something for you where you could build a business, multi-millions of dollars per year. In 10 years, follow this, do all this, right? You could generate 25 million, 50 million, 100 million. If you're good at it, you know what you're doing, right? You're sending good emails. Guys, if you're a coach and you're doing this and you understand this concept, if we do that thing where it's 25K and we need to get 200 clients a year, well, let's say we do that every year. Well, in 10 years, we're going to make $50 million of our own product and also be making an impact on people's lives and killing it and having fun in the process. So guys, with that said, this is what it's all about. If you have any questions after that, right, obviously you can comment, ask questions. You can text me, 917-636-1998. Happy to do it. And stick around, get involved, man. I'm going to be rolling out some stuff here. If you want to be part of this, if you want to be part of some trainings, it's coming. I just finished that chapter in a book. It's coming out, I believe, sometime late March, early April, which is really cool. We're going to be on the billboard of NASDAQ on April 9th in Times Square. I'm going to be on that, which is cool. I got a lot of things there in that chapter at the end. I kind of have some call to actions, and one of them is training. So I got to get that training done by then. So it is coming. I'm going to be doing it. If you guys want to be involved, you want to hang out with me and do this and have some fun in the process, well, then, you want to be alerted and know about what I'm doing. So you got to subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the podcast. Text me, 917-636-1998. Share this with people that you think might get some value out of it. Because this is awesome. This is awesome. We can go into so much more detail here, and this could be a course in itself. But with that said, guys, I appreciate you. You guys rock. I believe in you. You can do all this stuff. So just keep moving forward, man. Just keep a good head on your shoulders. Keep a good mindset. Put yourself around people that are positive, and just keep on going. Keep on moving forward. Survive. And I promise you, if you keep doing it and keep working hard, something good will happen. So with that said, guys, I appreciate y'all. Thank you. Be blessed. I am out. Later. Good night.